Well, I was filming earlier when this was still standing, and my phone likes to shut off when I use the camera, and then it doesn't save the footage, so you don't get to see that. But what Murdoch and I did was we stood on top and we knocked the sides off. Now this is the sister trailer to the one that was taken down in a windstorm. That's this one over here. So we just figured if we're gonna do one, we might as well do all 3 of the hay wagons that we own. We've had his dad's hay wagon here before, the green one. And his buddy's got the sawmill. We'll put in an order for some new beams. And then these beams will get sold off for somebody for, you know, Etsy arts and crafts or a mantle. It's had a deck on it, so they're probably in better shape than the other pair, maybe a little straighter. And everyone is making crafts out of this stuff. They'll put a couple boards on it, some jute twine to hang it, attach some mason jars with some twinkle lights and some artificial flowers, and it's very farmhousey and everybody loves it because it looks original. Well, this is original tongue and groove barn siding that was repurposed on this trailer. Everything that's usable will get sold off as barn wood, craft wood, and the plywood deck will go. We'll just throw that in the burning pile. The beams, things like that. This is a lot of wood, and if you're into anything like that, finding this kind of stuff in original condition, they want the chippy paint and everything. I've got it all over my barn every time I walk out the door. I like everything in my house to be nice and painted without all that weathering and distressing. Very, very limited in that kind of stuff. Like I said, I grew up with all that chippy paint because it's what we had. You know, all we had was the local hardware store. Now remember about the nails. Real good. You know, Jack, you'd work better from the ground and standing up. Trey needs to get underneath it with the crowbar. We own 3 crowbars, and I brought one home the other day and I don't know where I put it. It's probably in the house garage. Normally we hang them all up. That one was up in the attic from doing the demo work up there. Oh, very good. Yep, remember to make tiles for your nails. Good work. Oh, so if you need any wood for your little projects, boy, I've got a lot of mason jars. I might just have to make these into projects myself and find out how they're attached in the mason jar to the board and just do that. That's great. Yeah, that plywood's all junk, guys, unless Dad can use it like on top of the firewood pile to keep it dry. That's right. Good. It doesn't matter if you break it. See? Now, okay, that's enough there, Jack. Now you need to come here into the center, and then that will give you, if you keep pulling in that spot, it's just going to snap. I know. So if you come down here.
Where was that pry bar?
That's a screwdriver.
I thought it was a pry bar thing. The real little one that has the curve.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? Then you're going to end up damaging.
I just need to keep that in there so I can get a grip on it.
Well, what you do is you slide your thing in sideways. You have somebody lift it on the end. You can't. Oh, you guys are doing okay. Well, I'm getting back to my work while you guys work on this. It's too windy to film. What? You're doing better, okay? Look at Trey and his tricks. He said he knew he would do all right if he could get a pipe. So I showed him where the pipes were, and it's helping him. You're a smart guy.
I know.
Look at that. Now save them. And Jack, when this job is complete, you're going to have to find your metal detector and come out here and do a cleanup. Put them in your pocket or put them in a pile. That'd be fine. All right. Back to it for me. I'm not getting any painting done. Looks like a tornado hit around here, I'll tell ya. All the nuts and bolts got sawzalled off. Well, these things never fail to surprise me. They always show up, and I'm still always surprised. No bolt going through here, no bolt going down that end. No bolt going through here, one bolt going on that end. This one had a bolt at some point. See, it was here, but this wasn't even sitting even with here, so it must have sheared off and moved a bit. This is all bent, twisted there like it just, I don't know, warpage. So a lot of years of use, but it's finally gonna get retired, tore down, redone. It's ugly. Look at that. And oh my, can you see how crooked that is? That's what you call pigeon-toed. They just, or knock-kneed, they go out right here and then in there. Just something. Well, I gotta get on with the rest of my projects, turn the cleanup job to the kids. I didn't want them using the Sawzall on their own, and I didn't want them cutting the metal, so the hard part's done. Yeah, they can go ahead and do more of the stacking and sorting, and this will be their project for the next weekend that's coming up here. And I asked Jack, he came by, of course, as soon as I was down to about the last part, which I did need his help for because those cross beams, boy, look at the size of these bolts. I used carriage bolts. My husband says he's never seen that before. This is my hand. That's 8 inches, 8.5 inches. So these were like 16 inches long. That's quite a bit. Oh, looking better. Always looks worse before it looks better though. So we're here doing some wheel repairs today. I tried filming this earlier and I didn't hit record before the battery died. And no save. So I'm going to show you where we left off. He's got a coat of paint on this one. It was off of the old steel hay wagon that we brought home. And all this needed to be brazed. He said the metal was way too thin. This hole was completely gone.
It was a hole from here to here. It was smoked. All the way down to here, all the way out to here. This is like 3 pieces, and then a washer in the middle. So 4 different pieces it took to recreate that.
Yeah.
Just so the tube doesn't get ruined.
It would just chew up the tube. It was so thin and so bad. And the other thing is your tires won't seat correctly and hold air without cleaning up the rim. The Buick has got 2 flat tires right now because they weren't cleaned up before the tires were switched in them. And my daughter just said, hey, the tires aren't holding air. And so she parked it and quit driving it. So we took the car back, and this is my old car. We got to do the same thing on cleaning up these aluminum wheels. I've got the Mustang over in Williamston that's doing the same thing. Bell Tire or Discount Tire put on new tires, and they didn't clean up the rim. Brand new tires, that Mustang. Oh. So I've got a Mustang over at the workhouse that I've got to do the same thing. Have him switch out the tire and clean up the rim because Bell Tire or Discount Tire put new tires on it and didn't bother to clean up the rim, and brand new tires that won't hold air. So every time I go, we charge up the battery and air up the tire just to have that wear and tear not, damaging the tire. So same situation here. He's had to put in a whole metal plate, braze it in, and he'll have to make a washer. He bends the washer after torching it and warming it up. So we're getting to working on another project today. This old hay wagon's been sitting out back, and we've used it a couple of times. We've had a heck of a time because one of the rims that they put on here George is being 3. One of the rims that was on here when he brought this home was of course on the front and wrong. So he's been trying to find a new wheel for it on and off, you know, just looking on eBay and Facebook and Craigslist. Not having any luck finding a match, but you know, we got to do something with it. We just got this wagon all tore apart, and it had good usable plywood rated for outdoor use, and well, I cut one of the sheets a little bit and then stopped. So however he needs to do that, he can use this for shelving or something. But the other 3 over there were in a lot better shape than this one, so no big loss. The lumber's really high right now, so if you can reuse any of that lumber, it's a good way to go. Well, we've been hemming and hawing about what to do about this situation, because you see there, metal's pretty thin and it's rusted through, so it needs a floor, and steel's really high and expensive also. Well, looks like he's got a little work to do back here. It's hanging down, it's not hanging on to anything, so he'll have to figure out about tack welding that up or putting a brace up there for something. Get down there and see. Oh yeah, well, she's a beauty. Well, this is a co-op hay wagon, and we brought this home one Saturday or Sunday afternoon. He parked it in my driveway, and I went out and made a video on it, and I was so happy to get it, and I never really got to using it the way that I wanted to. I started using the manure spreader and just using this a little here and there because of that floor. See, it used to be orange. Well, we've got orange, we've got yellow and gray, and wagon's green, but you might as well paint it John Deere colors, right? And make it match the tractor. So she's gonna get a little bit of a facelift here this week. It's gonna be real warm in the 80s the day after tomorrow. So it'd be a good time to go ahead and take a wire brush to this. We're gonna clean it up. We're cleaning up things that we're using, that we're not using. A lot of people in the past have asked about equipment videos or equipment tours. We use and don't use so much stuff around here that I've got stuff parked that we haven't used in years, and we're starting to kind of get rid of some of that surplus, because why have that out there if somebody else can use it and at the same time use the money for the things that we do need. So this is one of those things. We've had this Balin corn crib sitting here, and it's just been kind of in the way, and it sure does eat up a lot of string trimmer trying to go around there and keep the grass from growing. Well, as you know, we put that Detroit diesel generator in here, and he'd like to put a lean-to here and have this be usable space. I had originally thought, you know, a nice little space to park a tractor or a truck, even the maple syrup evaporator, but I wasn't too keen on the idea of having it attached to this building in case we ever had trouble. I'd rather have it in a standalone building. I don't want to be the one responsible for burning the place down. That would be really bad. So in the meantime, he is going ahead and patching up these wheels and tires, and I'll show you the progress that we make on the rest of the wagon in the next day or two. So why does the brazing rod work better than the welding? Is it because the metal's thin and this melts at a lower temperature?
It's so pitted and so screwed up, I can work that brazing rod in there and build up a pit, and then, for instance, I guess I can't show you more. There was pits so bad on this, but you see it ends up looking kind of like a weld.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to weld. It doesn't have to be quite as strong as welding, because all you're really trying to do is keep it from like herniating the tube. And the tube, these holes were so big, it didn't matter because the tires have been flat for years.
Yeah.
But if you were really to air them up, I mean, the holes were like this wide. They were just, but the problem is I can't find these. They're 5-bolt. We don't have anything else anywhere. So, I mean, that's a really funky old wheel. So when it happens that way, I just have to fix them.
So how old do you think this wagon is?
Like late 30s or early 40s.
Really?
Yeah, it's super old. It's not a bolt pattern that matches anything, but it turns out fine. You see, that hole is actually a washer.
Yeah.
So that's 2 layers deep. I had to put 4 pieces of metal in here to remake this shape, and then on the top there's a washer, and then this is all just braze filled in, because by the time you do it real rough on the inside like that, that'll be ground down and smooth. You almost have this done, and you just kind of do the top. They're not worth the labor. It's just that you can't use the wagon anymore without doing this, because you can't.
Right.
So
patching it up to get by, and you know, it's really nice. Were they originally intended for loose hay? Was that the idea?
People put like 60 bushels of grain was the idea. That's why most of them had a hoist. So this one, the little old pull type combines dumped into these, and then they literally pushed it out the back.
Okay. Yeah, it had that little door in the back. I forgot about that.
Grain shovel, and then we've got one of them over there that has a hoist. This one just didn't. There was one we almost bought that had a hoist. It was international, much newer. So then they went to hoists, and then they went to gravity wagons, and then trucks, and on. But
yeah,
it was for grain.
Okay.
So.
Well, I saw one advertised the other day for $750, and it was titled or being sold as a quarter side hay wagon. And, you know, you can surely use it for hay. That's no problem. They're fun for a hay wagon ride. But with that odd wheel on the front, he said he'll switch that to the back so it pulls better. He literally dragged this thing home from, hour and a half away with the wheel not turning. And it was
raining.
Yeah, it had rained and
so
a lot.
We're like, whatever.
It was stripped right down, a bald tire. So we've done some tire work on it before, but... you know, it's been sitting for a couple years, and he saw that it was flat and needed some work. So, patching her up. It'll hold air now. And this is what we're using for tubes. These are, well, he said one's a 15, one's a 16 right here. We had ordered the pair off of eBay for the wood cart and sap wagon. And we had some extras. So he's not even matching up the tires. He's got an ag tire here and a car tire. Is this what came off? This one? It looks a little kinky.
Was on. The tube was bad and the tire was awesome. So we're going to go ahead and roll with that because it's like new. And then this one, we just took off that cart. And this one is not good either.
Right.
But it's good enough for who it's for, which is me. And that's what it gets.
If you ever go around your property, somebody challenged me once about how many tires you own. And we've gotten rid of some things that have tires, but some things have come in because I think when we went around and counted, we were over 300 tires, and that was before we got the doubles. How many wheels on the doubles? 32 wheels on the doubles times 4 or 5 sets. That was before that hay wagon got here, and before this grain cleaner got here, and before this truck got here. So we definitely own a few more tires now. All right, well, now that the corn crib is gone and out of the way, it's been a couple of days. Well, it's time to start in on another project. For now, I can use this as a work zone, and lumber prices are really high. So it's a good parking spot for equipment. We can generally get, I don't know, 2 to 4 things in here depending on how wide they are. The floor in this old hay wagon has seen better days, and it needs some paint. There's nothing like a Michigan winter and bare metal to start things rusting out. So the wheels are on. They've been all repaired. He went ahead and painted them. New tubes, replacement tires, but That old hay wagon I had the boys tearing apart over here, we're going to reuse this because it will make a great replacement floor for this wagon. Then we don't have to go out and go buy anything either. So I'm going to get sanding and wire brushing on this. And I think it's going to be a John Deere green because I think it's what we got. Alright, well, I got tired of sanding and prepping, so I'm saving the interior walls for another day because enough is enough in one day. I'll tell you, I've loved my Oops paint. I always have. I had a half a gallon of John Deere green, and I thought if I paint this John Deere green on this old trailer, it's going to look off or, you know, showy. See this original green? I matched it. I took some forest green that I had half a pint. I had about 3/4 of a pint of some flat brown and a little bit of an off-white, and just kept mixing it till it got kind of olive colored, and it looks so much better. Now I did this with a brush. I didn't want to get out. He was spraying the fuel tank and some other jobs going on. So I just used the 5-gallon drill mixer and just went over the whole thing. It already looks so much better. Look at that. We went from absolute junk to a bit of a beauty. She's ready for a pageant or parade. So I'll do the interior walls if it's not too hot tomorrow and figure out what I quite exactly want to do with all of this plywood, because we've got 4 sheets here, and where the deck was bad on the hay wagon, I've got some cupping right here, and I probably only need 3 sheets, so I might not need that one anyway. But I laid one out just so that I could work on the interior here. See how that's, you know, funky that way. I think if I turn it the other way, it'll be 3 sheets maybe 3.5. But that back corner is kind of wonky. It's dipping a little bit. Anyways, we'll get back with you again tomorrow and show you the finish up job and hit these wheels with the second coat of yellow paint. Well, it never fails lately. Every time we set out to do something, the weather changes. Says it's gonna rain, says it's gonna rain. That little window passes, no rain. We're like, okay, let's get on with it. Boom. Little rain shower just went through here and got everything nice and wet. So I was getting ready to come out to cut my plywood for the deck on this. And like I had said before, I am reusing the plywood because this stuff was $43 a sheet for 1/2 inch. I think it was $49 for the 3/4 inch thick plywood. That's just for the basic stuff that you're going to cover, not for anything that's treated. This is treated plywood. So, you know, there's definitely going to be some money savings there with that. I mean, that would cost like $200 to put a deck on this. So for, you know, this point, mixing up my Oops paints, you know, kind of deal, a gallon of paint's like 26 bucks, 30 bucks on sale. And I think it's $39 regular price. So when you factor in, you know, that kind of stuff, I don't know if I ended up getting it on sale or not, but it's turning out really good. But now my plywood is all wet. I was headed to the shop to go get my sawhorses, and they're buried. They are so buried in there. I just can't get that shop organized at all. So I'm going to take a break, I guess. I'll go inside. I just cut some rhubarb this morning, so we'll go make some rhubarb crisp and get back to this if it dries up a little bit. Well, I called in some experts. I'm getting a little bit of help on my plywood. I'll show you why. I don't know if you can tell when it was laying on the ground. It is cupped heavily right there. Like a banana, curled right up. So we decided, we measured from the inside rail at the bottom so that it can set on that lip, because I wasn't quite sure what to do about it. I think it was, no, it's a 2-piece deal they set in it. We'll take it over. So he said he's been watching a guy who does Ken's Carpentry on YouTube, and I think he said the guy does roofing. $67 for the 5/8 plywood. $69. when you buy stuff like this, also, we've got our tax exempt for farm supplies, and that does help, but you know, we just got to reuse this. We're just going to throw hay on top of it. So it was good thinking to not bust this up. Not totally fast enough. I started sawzalling it and stopped. So we're just going from there to there. And it's not square.
Yeah, see, now we could be 79. So.
Okay. Okay. So it must have been the back. It was notched on the other one too, so we're doing the same thing with that. We're just going to cut this off to make it straight, and they're way off. I don't know how they did that, but he told me my saw has got a bad brake on it. It doesn't quit when you let off the power. It keeps going. Lady threw it in a deal with a lawnmower, so it got something cut. He's got his masonry blade in the other saw, and that must be having brake problems too, because it always makes that squawk noise like a duck quacking.
That's a bad bearing from cutting blocks, the dust.
Oh.
So that's what started that. Dry, it would probably go bad because of it, but what are you gonna do? We needed it for
yeah.
the job, so.
Well, the cord's all chewed up on it and everything. Maybe it's just time for a new saw.
Not till it dies, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what's gonna happen. Our cordless drills haven't held up about 2 or 3 years. It's not like we're construction workers using them every day. When we did our roof last year, we could not find this chalk line anywhere. I walked in the shop today and it was just sitting right on top. He said he used it for the attic, so it makes it a lot easier, because his last cut that he did, it was a 1/2 inch off from one end to the other.
Okay, Becky, it's gonna be loud.
Yep, you gotta go back.
Hold this back, would you?
Good enough for who it's for. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up for this video. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do that now. It really helps out the channel and supporting us a lot. Hit that notification bell and you'll know when the next video comes out. See you next time.